Hello and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Australian Open here at sportsbookraeview.com. We've got guest Joao Morato from mgtennistipster.com with us every single day, giving us a free tips for the next day. We've just finished previewing the men's, and unfortunately, actually just cut him short. He's actually got an in-play bet tip. So he's just going to quickly cover that, and then we'll move on to women's day 3. So Joao, tell us what the in-play bet is, or what game you'll be in-play betting on day 3 for the men's.
Yeah, that's one. There's one match I think we can keep an eye on between Evgeny Donskoy and Gilles Simon. Donskoy has great ground strokes, always a dangerous opponent, but as this kind of players, he usually struggles to keep a consistent and regular level, and he'll face one of the biggest marathonists on the tour, Gilles Simon. So I think what we can keep an eye on here is the possibility that Donskoy has a strong start, wins the first or even the first 2 sets, and then Simon might recover and win this in 5 sets. So I think this is a game to keep an eye on.
All right, fantastic. Sorry about cutting you short there. Let's take a look at the women's side. And first of all, I've got to ask, obviously, run us through what you thought was sort of a big upset, obviously, that will affect sort of the outright betting odds.
Well, there was one big upset, the second seed, Simona Halep. I don't think that will affect the outright so much because despite being the second seed, she wasn't one of the bookmakers' main favorite to win due to her recent physical problems. So I think that won't affect, but still was a big upset.
Yeah, all right then. So let's take a look. We've got 4 favourites really, but sort of 3 maybe with a little bit more value. We've got Serena Williams, we've got Maria Sharapova and Suarez Navarro. We've also got Radwanska as well. But tell us what games you're looking at from those players, and if there is any sort of betting value that might be had.
Well, first about Serena, she had a tough match against Camila Giorgi, as we expected on the first rounds, but she served at an outstanding level. That was one thing that's important to point out. And at the end, she said that she felt well on court and she was going to improve match after match. So we might see Serena playing at a very good level in the next round against her opponent. Yeah.
Sorry, but in there, does that make, so for people who wanted to play, say, Serena Williams on the outrights, watching that game, does it give you confidence that she could win the Australian Open?
Yeah, we mentioned that it was important to watch her first match before betting on her. I don't think there's confidence enough to betting on her to win the title, but to reach the final, I think is a good bet, because on the final she might face Azarenka, who is also at an outstanding level, and I like the matchup there for Azarenka. So, but to bet on Serena to reach the final, yes, I think she has a good draw for that.
All right. So again, the favourites playing day 3. So we've got Sharapova next.
Yeah, just to finish Serena, her match against Xie, an Asian player who was close from elimination on her first match against Ostapenko, but she doesn't have much weapons from the baseline, and if Serena keeps serving so well as she did, she'll feel extremely confident on her return games, and I think she can cover her spread minus 7.5 at 2.06 on Pinnacle. About Sharapova, she was playing against Sasnovich, a player from Belarus who is also very aggressive from the baseline with flat ground strokes. But as we mentioned in our previous video about Sharapova, she likes to face this kind of players. She usually dominates them in those rallies where both try to hit very strong. And she served at an outstanding level against Hibino on the first round with 11 aces and only 2 double faults. And Maria's serve is a great indicator of her confidence. So she seems to be very, very confident about herself. And the spread, again, it's minus 7.5, 2.01. And I also think she can cover it.
All right, wonderful. Have you got any in-play betting for the women's side? Any matches you're looking for day 3 to in-play bet?
Yeah, just finishing the main favorites before, the Suarez Navarro against Maria Sakkari. Navarro had a great start of season in 2015 and broke into the top 10 for the first time on her career. But since then, since June, July 2015, she hasn't been able to keep the same level. In the first round this week, she won against the qualifier Golubic, but her stats were just awful: 14 winners and 37 enforced errors. About Sakkari, she also came from qualifying. She's 20 years old, a great competitor trying to build up her ranking, and she doesn't give anything free to her opponents. So the spread on Carly is just too high. At the time, she's not confident at all. minus 6.5, 2.03 is just too high for Suarez Navarro to cover. About the in-play bet that might be valuable on this day, we are looking at a match between Monica Niculescu and Elizaveta Kolishkova. Kolishkova is a very aggressive young player with powerful ground strokes, a very typical match on the Eastern Europe players. But she also struggles to keep a consistent level. Is very typical on this kind of players, and she'll face a very tricky opponent. Monica Niculescu is known for using the forehand slice, not giving any rhythm to her players, and also playing a lot of third set matches, long marathons. And on this match, I think Kalishkova can start better, win the first set, but Niculescu's consistency and tricky game style can be the key for her recovering.
All right, fantastic. Now, in case our viewers didn't watch the men's side, do quickly run us through your record, just so they know if they should listen to your top play or not. How have you done?
So far, we had four bets, as mentioned in the video before, 2-1, one void, one loss. And that void was extremely tough because we were right on the money. That was Delbonis to give a good fight to Karlovic, and we picked the over. But unfortunately, Karlovic retired in the third set. But it has been a solid tournament so far.
All right. Are you in profit?
Yeah.
All right, that's all that matters. What's your top play then of the day for women's day 3?
The top play for tomorrow is in the match between Daria Gavrilova and Petra Kvitova. Kvitova is one of the highest ranked players on this tournament, but not one of the main favorites to win because she always struggles with the hot conditions in Melbourne. She suffers from asthma and sometimes struggles to keep her game level, game level, and makes a lot of unforced errors. On the other hand, she'll face Gavrilova, one of the most young, promising players on tour, a great defender. She moves very well on court and is also quite strong mentally. On the first round match against Lucy Hradeshka, she served all 10 break points she faced. They played last year, and Petra won 6-3, 4-6, 7-5. A very close match, and I think this one should be also a battle. So we are picking the over 21 at 1.92.
All right, fantastic. And that was Joao there from mgtennistipster.com. He's a tennis tipster. If you want to go and visit his site and services, the link is in the description below this video. And he's come along basically to give us here at the sportsbookreview.com community free tips each day for the Australian Open. So do stay tuned. 11 a.m. Costa Rica time every single morning. Joao, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.